Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is Sippin' Tea with Nat and Z. I'm Nat.
And I am Z.
Hope everybody's doing well this Labor Day weekend. I would be remiss if I did not tell you as a public health official, I hope you all are being safe and you're wearing your masks and your social distancing, because I get it. It's the end of the summer. Folks are having cookouts. But please be safe. Please be safe and be mindful of, if you have a quarantine, the folks that you hang out with normally, that you've been hanging out with since the beginning of COVID, fine. However, please be safe. Please, please, please. Yes. So what's up, Z? How you doing?
I'm good. We're still in COVID, so we're not doing the normal Labor Day activities.
Rona rude.
Right. So we're just trying to find ways to kind of enjoy, the holiday
safely.
Yes, safely, and just trying to, like you said, maintain social distancing. We haven't developed our own quarantine, so we don't have that, but we're just trying to, find ways to make it fun, especially for our daughter, because, we had plans to do a lot of things, and she's a very active toddler, and so we're just trying to find ways to keep her active and stimulated, because we're not comfortable all the way yet taking her to the zoo or to the aquarium, because there's just a lot of people there. So, I'm just trying to make the best of the shit show that we're in.
Right. And my niece be lit. My niece would be like, let's go do this.
Yes. Sis is always ready to go somewhere and do something.
To go. It's ready to go. So, all right, now, so we're on episode 7.
Yes, we are.
Thanks. I want to give thanks to all the folks that have been listening and continue to support us. So we appreciate you. So this episode, as we referred to last week, is called I Just Want to Do Hoodrat Stuff with My Friends.
Yes.
Traveling with Your Tribe. I don't know if y'all remember where that came from.
That will forever be my jam. That little boy was like, look, I did it because I want to do Hoodrat with my friends.
Where are you going? Driving your grandma's car. You on a joyride. Talk about I want to do Hoodrat stuff with my friends.
And same.
Yes. Same. And unfortunately, he got older and now he's unfortunately locked up.
What?
Yeah, girl. My husband told me that the other day. He's like, oh, the Hoodrat dude. Unfortunately, well, grandma wasn't watching him, I guess, obviously, because he's driving a car. But apparently his path has led to some arrests and whatnot. So I don't know if it is really unfortunate, but side note, it is the impetus and the inspiration for this episode, because the shit is funny. I want to do Hoodrat stuff with my friends. Just saying. So what's going on with the tea today, Z?
So I'm going to do my disclaimer, and then we'll get into that. So we are not tea experts. You should speak to your doctor when drinking herbal tea, as there are potential side effects when mixed with some medications. This should not be a substitute for medication. We're not affiliated with any of these companies, nor are these endorsements.
Correct. So the tea on the table today, because we're talking about vacation, traveling with your girls, is called Bellini Tea Cocktail. So one way to prepare, which would be helpful, to have a few bags of the Tivana Beach Bellini. I love Tivana, by the way. So that's a hint of real pineapple, papaya, can't even say it, and mango come together with fruit flavors, rose petals, and tangerine peel. This sounds lovely. In this tropical blend that tastes like a splash of summer sunshine, which is appropriate since it's Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
I think it's right on point. So a few scoops of rock sugar or sugar, depending what you have, but the rock sugar is nice. 2 ounces of rum. Winning. 2 ounces of pineapple juice and a teaspoon of lemon juice. So we want you, steep that loose leaf tea with rock sugar for about 5 minutes in very hot water, not boiling, just very hot. Pour over ice and let cool. You mix in the other ingredients together in a shaker. If you don't have a shaker, you should get one. Just like
Everybody should have a shaker.
everybody should have a shaker, a teapot, tea kettle, all that, and a shaker. You should have that. That should be standard issue. And pour over some ice. Add, this is fancy. Add some rose petals and pineapple for garnish. No cilantro this time.
No cilantro. I ain't doing cilantro garnish this time.
No cilantro garnish. Just rose petals and some pineapple. Okay? Okay.
And this was a good choice, I think.
Yeah.
Like we said, it sounds like a trip in a glass, right? When you're with your friends, you're laying out by the beach, or by the pool, and you're just sipping on a nice little sweet, summery cocktail. And I also think, like you said, we can't do much, right? So COVID has really dampened our travel for the summer.
Yeah.
So even if you have a quarantine and you just want everybody to come over to the house and socially distance outside of your backyard, you kind of, act like you're at a beach or a pool and just lay out. And
exactly.
And I mean, who doesn't like Bellinis? I mean,
hello. They're lovely.
Yes. This is win-win all around.
Look into it. Look into it.
So, let's get into some hot tea today.
Yes.
So, Usher, as he is known to some, Usher reportedly has a baby on the way with his girlfriend, record executive Jen Goycochea. I hope I said that right.
Wondering how to pronounce her name.
I'm thinking that's what it is.
We'll go with that. And apologies if it's not correct.
Exactly, because I understand how it feels to not have someone pronounce your name correctly. So, this is her first child and Usher's third. There is no word yet on the sex of the baby. They've been apparently dating since 2019. So it's probably, I'd say the baby might be due sometime later this year.
Probably.
So congrats to the couple. Also with Usher, he is taking his talents to Las Vegas as he will be headlining his own residency at Caesar's Palace.
Okay, like Celine.
Yes,
and Cher.
And at one point, people were rumored to have Beyonce at doing a residency. Where I was like, that's not at that point in her career where she needs to do a residency. No shade to Usher. I'm just saying she doesn't have to do that.
Right. She's not there yet.
No. It will kick off on July 16th, 2021, if Corona takes her bitch ass somewhere. Tickets will go on sale this Thursday, September 10th.
Oh, wow.
At 10 a.m. But you can get them. You could get the tickets Monday if you text the number 404-737-1821. And apparently it's Usher's number. And I did text the number because I was just curious to see, okay, yeah. So
did it work? Did it work?
The text that I received back was like, "What's up? It's Usher. Yes, this is really my number, and I'll be texting you from time to time."
You know that ain't his number,
right? And then it said, "But you know me." So I was like, "Okay." Then it said, "Got you." It says, "Text back." It says, click the link to add yourself to my contacts so I can text you back. So I said, all right, I'm going to do that. So I did that. It was like, got you saved with prayer hands. Make sure you save my contact card on your phone.
Look here, sir.
Right. Then the contact card pops up and it says Usher with a profile picture of him. So there it is. You can see it.
Let me find out.
Number.
I'm looking at the picture, y'all. Like Z just showed me the picture. I'm just looking at it like, what, for real?
I got Usher's
number. You got Usher's number. You got Usher's number. Thank you.
But I'm debating because I like Usher and I like his music. I really do. And I don't mind. I was like, okay, this is perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I may purchase the tickets and make sure I have ticket insurance.
Yes.
In case Corona decides to still be here, because you just don't know.
But it could be a
So
trip. It could be another Vegas trip.
it could, and that's why I was like, "Ooh, this could be a girls trip. We
Girls
go
trip.
to Usher in
Yes.
Vegas."
I'm about that life. I got married in Vegas, so I'm about that life.
Yes, and we went to Vegas
Oh gosh, when did we go? It was
2006,
so
7, something like that,
something
but
like that. Yeah.
yeah, it was 10 of
We're
us. It was
we're
quite
we're we're due for a trip.
yeah,
We're
we
due for a
are.
trip.
We are definitely due for a trip. So, next up
Fabulous.
is, the Brandy versus Monica battle on Earth.
Versus
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I did
I
as
thought it
well.
was probably the best versus
I
battle
think
that I
so.
saw.
Definitely
It
one of the
it
best.
yes, it really was. It broke all the records.
Mm-hmm.
So it
They're
pulled
like
in more.
1.2 million or something.
Well, on IG it was 1.2 million.
Oh
But
wow.
they pulled in apparently 6 million views across, I guess, all platforms.
Oh, that's right. Because we were only on IG.
Right. So Apple, I think when they combined it with Apple, with
Mm-hmm.
IG, and I don't know if there's any other platform you could have watched it on, it's pulled in 6 million views. It generated a million tweets, more than a million tweets.
Oh dang.
hmm It
Oh,
helped. Go ahead.
no, I said I saw the memes.
Oh yeah, exactly. So already that right there sparked probably 500,000 tweets with memes alone.
Right.
It helped raise $250,000 for When We All Vote, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Yes, and Kamala Harris, she called in thanking them, which I thought was awesome, for
Mm-hmm.
their contributions to the culture and encouraging voters to hit the polls in November. So I mean,
Thank you,
and
Soror.
yes, ski wee
Thank you,
soror.
Soror. Skiwi.
And as a side note, I just want to say, I posted this to social media. I really wish we would get away from the narrative that Black women who are doing the same thing or are in the same lane
Mm-hmm.
automatically have to be beefing, because
Yes. Please.
why would they get along? And yes, granted, Brandy and Monica had their issues in the past,
Right.
but I feel like for, you know, being apart, they said they hadn't had a conversation in over 8 years.
Oh wow.
So you would expect the awkwardness,
Which was apparent to a
very
degree.
apparent,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, if you've beefed with somebody for 8 years and sat down to have a conversation with them, probably like an hour before you're set to do this type of
Yes.
event, why do people expect that their interaction was going to be natural?
Kumbaya.
Right. It just wasn't going to be that.
Come on now, folks.
And Brandy to me is like the awkward Black girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's very awkward. And if you've read her, she had an article in People recently about her struggles with her mental health.
Mm-hmm.
It is apparent why it's difficult for her to just be, and I think she generally just wants Monica to like her, because Monica's seen as a cool girl. You know what I mean?
That is a really good observation. I think that's true.
So
Definitely.
stop putting Black women against one another.
Come on now. We have enough of that already. I mean,
right.
And that honestly, that is a whole other episode that we're going to dive into at some point.
Yes, we have to.
With the pitting against each other is just out of control. It is out of control, and it needn't be that way. And we all enjoy their catalogs. You know, they have their respective lanes.
Yes.
You know, but there were some points. I have to say, the one point in. Oh, what song was she singing? Brandy was like, "My kids are watching," and Monica was like,
she was saying sideline, "Ho, use the ho, ho."
She's like, "My kids know me." Ho.
That is something I would do. Like, and that's why I laughed so hard at that, because she's like, "I don't give a shit what you talk about."
Right.
I think one of the funniest things I saw, there were two things I saw that really made me laugh. One, it was like, Brandy makes music for women who play bridge. Monica makes music for women who play spades. I cackled hard at that. But then the one that took me all the way out was like, Brandy makes music for AKAs and Monica makes music for Deltas.
And that, for us, that was hysterical, because, you know, me and Z are AKs. But that was No shades, of course, to our fellow sister Greeks, but that was funny.
That was hilarious.
Absolutely hilarious. That was
That was
funny.
funny.
But it was a good. I definitely agree. I think it was the catalogs were great. You know, she had a couple poems,
Mhm. She
and
thought
you
she was
know,
Moesha in the den. Yes.
right? We were like, "Oh, we don't have another poem,"
She's like,
and
"Dear diary."
straight up out of Moesha, straight up out of Moesha. But I think it was probably it was a really good one. But we have to talk about when they sang "The Boy Is Mine."
Oh, yeah.
That I don't know if that was in Monica's contract or not, because she surely was not singing
No, she wasn't.
at
She was like,
all. And Brandy kept asking about let's go on tour. And Monica's like, okay, what's the next song?
right. And I think that's also due to the fact that I think Brandy genuinely wants Monica to
Yes.
like her. And
Yeah.
Monica is one of those type of women we all know that are very reserved and very confident in her own skin.
She's
And
been
it's
through a lot.
yeah, she's not fake. She doesn't put on airs.
Yeah.
So for her, it's just like, all right, sis, we'll have a conversation about that another time.
Later.
But
Can we stop
right.
bringing it up?
Right. But I love both. I love both of those women. I mean, it's
Yeah.
never like for me who won, but I would say vocally, Monica can't touch Brandy. And Brandy's vocals are just like, how do you harmonize with your own harmony?
With your
How do you do
own
that?
recording, with your own track, you've harmonized.
Like,
She's talented in a whole
very,
other way.
very.
And Monica has her own gifted skill, but it's just a different. I think they're just different. You can't necessarily pit them against each other. They just have different styles.
They do.
And
like I said, kudos to both of those women for putting that beef aside. God's still working on me. I probably still got beef with people I ain't gonna put aside no time soon. But
we're all a work in progress.
But good for you ladies. Good for you ladies.
Yes.
And then last I have here, and I don't have a whole lot on it, just Niecy Nash. She shocked everyone recently when she announced that she was remarried. And not because she got hitched, but it was because she married actress and singer Jessica Betts. And I believe that she was on the show Claws with Niecy Nash as well.
Oh,
and maybe that's how they met.
Gotcha.
And allegedly she performed at her third, because I think this is Niecy Nash's fourth marriage. Her second or her third marriage. She performed at her second marriage. Allegedly, she performed there. I believe it.
Allegedly.
So maybe that's how
you believe it,
right? And I think people were just shocked because
she just divorced.
Well, she divorced. Yeah, her divorce was finalized in March 2020. Right. But I think, most people are like, oh my gosh, she was just married to a man. Now she's married to a woman. But she never told you what her sexuality was.
Exactly. So you don't know.
Just assumed because she married a man that she was heterosexual. She could be bisexual. We don't know.
You don't know. I work in the LGBT community, and that is something that we definitely try to stay away from, and putting folks in boxes. And if that was that's her truth, then hey, more power to her, and I'm happy for her.
And if it's a situation where she didn't feel comfortable with coming out till now, then I'm so proud of her, because I think she just turned 50 and live your life.
She's living her truth, and she's happy. She's like, have you seen the pictures? They look like they are so in love.
They do look like they're so in love.
Oh my goodness. And I am so happy to see that.
I am. And I love love, and I love Black love. So
yes,
I'm happy for her. If she likes it, I love it. So
hey, amen to that. Great.
Hello. Well, that's all I have. So
all right. So with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to jump right into our tea time segment. All right, and we're back. So, like we said, our tea time topic for today is, I just want to do hood rat stuff with my friends. Traveling with your tribe. So, Z and I came up with some areas that we need to kind of touch upon as we're thinking about how to travel with your friends. There's a before, during, and after, where to go, and all those things. So, I'm going to touch upon the before, and planning with a purpose is key. It is so important that we plan ahead. There's a lot of things that we need to take into consideration. Determining your traveling style and the type of trip you want to take. Is it adventure? Is it chill? Is it team no sleep? Things to consider. If you're taking an international trip, please have your passport. Don't show up at the
Please.
airport and be like, "Oh, I didn't know I needed one." Really? Okay, you going to another country. How else did you think you was going to get in there?
Right.
Like, for real. Like, let's be serious. And then also make sure you look at your expiration dates.
Yes.
And consider where the destination you're going to. They may want you to have an expiration date that's 6 months out or 3 months out. You really got to make sure. And in the time of COVID, trying to get your passport can take a little bit longer.
Yes.
So please make sure you keep that in mind. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to determine the length of the trip. Is it a weekend trip? Is it a few days? Is it a week? Those things are key because, of course, they fold into the cost. And this is like one of the biggest. This one right here.
This one, yeah.
Please understand your group dynamics. Please. Like, what you do at 20 may not work at 40. Like, because it's not everybody. Let's go when you're getting older.
No,
you have a certain way of doing things when you're our age, and your temperament and your level of bullshit dealing with that has probably dropped drastically.
Yeah. And I mean, you have new mommies who don't want to travel far from their kids.
Yep.
You have people who are married that have no fly zones.
Yeah, you gotta make sure, and whatever that may be, that's that right there. We're gonna get into that later too. But please be mindful, because if you're trying to go to Brazil and your crew is married, I don't know if that's really the best choice. Right. You might just want to save that for your single friends or you're recently divorced.
Yeah. Right. Or even on the flip, right? There are some, because I think we've run into this a couple of times in trying to plan trips. There are some places that we find our friends, their spouse is like, well, I want to take you there. So can you not go there? You've never been there. I've never been there. That's something that I want us to experience together for the first time. So can you not go there? And you have to respect that. So
be very mindful.
Be mindful of that.
And supporting that union, whatever that may be. And a big one, are you allowed to bring a friend of a friend? Now, looky here. This one right here.
No.
If you're like, if your team, if your team no new friends, make sure everybody understands that, because that could throw off the whole dynamic of the trip. That's like Reef said, no.
The answer is no.
So keep those things in mind. And then as you're planning, think about the tools to help you stay organized. It could be Doodle, which is great because it helps you coordinate dates and select travel destination. And Hopper, which is great. I like that. I've used that word. It tracks,
I love Hopper.
It tracks the prices of where you want to go. So if, 1 week, sometimes I think Tuesdays are like the release date for different flights and they're cheaper. Just something to definitely keep in mind, because these are some really great tools. And then if you have, whatever research you've done, if it's like interest in blogs and travel sites, Z is really good with this, like with our group. Like she will run with this and we'll be like, what are we doing, Z? And she will come back with a whole little trip dossier.
Yes, and we are
everything
going to get into that in a minute, because yes, I do. Okay. And I do not,
infamous.
I am not ashamed. Okay.
And we appreciate it. Like, I know I do, because I'm just like, where are we going? I'll just be there. Just sign me up. Great. Thanks, Z. So that's definitely something to consider. And this is yet another. This is as big as group dynamics, financials. Like, what is the budget? Are we taking just a weekend getaway, or are we going to a 5-star all-inclusive resort with amenities and spa and excursions? Because that's going to play out differently, and it's going to depend on, and that will feed into who you inviting. Real talk, because that's huge. That is huge. And then decide upon the accommodations. It's great to share a room, but who are you sharing a room with? Like maybe you don't want to share a room. And how's the group going to feel about you not sharing a room? Because that's your business. If that's your vacation, take the vacation how you want to take it.
Right.
But if you're trying to cost cut, then definitely think about sharing a room and the dynamics. And then are we doing Airbnb where you can split the cost, which is great, a bed and breakfast, a boutique, and a luxury hotel, which comes into play with how much money you're trying to spend.
Right.
That is huge. That is huge,
Those are big things. And then, once you've figured all that out, right? Once you've made you've done the planning, then you got to figure out, okay, the planning's done and, we're going to take this trip. What are the do's and don'ts to avoid the drama? Right? Well, you want to look for group deals, right? Because maybe group deals will be easier in terms of keeping people from getting upset about how much it's costing.
Yes, because it's a flat rate. Everybody knows.
Employ the buddy system. And what does that mean? I've done this. When I lived in New York City for a time and friends came to visit for New Year's Eve, I made everybody get a buddy, and you were responsible for that person.
Yes.
And you needed to know where that person was at every moment during the trip. Why?
Yes.
Because you travel with a large group, it's hard and people can get lost. And people can get
we gonna get into that.
Right. Things can happen. And, especially if you're traveling with women, you just want to be more mindful of your surroundings and safe. So I always say employ a buddy system.
Yes.
Go with the flow. You don't have to do everything with everybody.
All the time. It's okay.
All the time. You don't have to. Just go with the flow. If there is an itinerary and you have somebody who's type A like me, and you're like, okay, yeah, you said we're going to do this at 2, but we got here and we figured out there was something else. To go with the flow. You're on vacation.
It's exactly.
Relax.
Please try.
Right. Be present. I think this is a big people go on vacations and then glued to their phone
the entire time.
Stay your ass at home.
Please.
Why are you here?
Please.
Go home, Roger. If
go home, Roger.
If you're going to be in your phone the whole time, you're not experiencing anything that's going on.
At all. You paid a bunch of money to sit somewhere else on your phone.
Right. You could have did that at home.
Hello.
On your couch.
Hello.
And found a YouTube video of the place that we all having fun at.
Exactly. And put it in the background. Because it's not like you're looking up or taking it in anyway.
Exactly.
So why bother?
And again, going back to just mixing group activities and alone time. You can have a plan where everybody goes out to dinner, but during the day you just are on your own. Breakfast,
which is fine. That's like if you want to be a loner, if you want to go and have that me time, whatever. Just make sure it's a mix. Try to make it a mix. You do not have to do everything with everybody all the time.
You don't. And I think the trips that we go on, we usually do things as a group, but then there are sometimes one group of people want to do one thing and another group of people want to do something else. And that's fine. You don't have to be attached at the hip
at all.
You don't have to be. And then the last thing is like making one person do all of the planning and research. So I put this in do's and don'ts because it's a do or it's a don't. It's a do for our group, for our tribe. It's a do because trying to get y'all heifers to make a decision about anything.
It is. We be hard. It's hard. We be giving Zuri for the business.
And I'd be like, okay, when do y'all want to go? Oh, it doesn't matter. Well, what time? Oh, whenever.
It doesn't matter.
What kind of food do y'all like? I don't care. Trying to plan a situation like that is you don't understand. Well, where do y'all want to stay? Oh, you pick. And then I pick. Oh, well, I don't know if I like that place. This is why I asked in the beginning.
When I tell y'all, Z be sending out polls. Like, look, heifers, this is what we're trying to do. If you don't give, if she will give deadlines, like, look, you have until this time on this day. If not, I don't want to hear shit.
Oh, here. What's going to go down? And I'm laughing because after every trip, I say, I am never doing this shit ever again.
She's been saying that for years.
I want to go on a trip. Y'all plan that shit yourself. I'm done. And guess what happens? Very next year. So, ladies,
where you want to go? and we love her for it. We appreciate her so much for this, like, because she is a beast at planning trips for us. Like, seriously,
And
she
I
could have
also,
her own travel agency.
yeah, and yes, I could. That and detective agency. Those are
That
the
too.
2 things I'm
That
good at.
too.
We'll talk about that at another time.
Just like Jill Scott's detective agency show that she
So if you have somebody like me and you have a group like our tribe, then having someone plan everything might be a good idea.
right.
But if you don't have that, then it may be that you want to kind of make sure that you all are in it. You can have a Zoom meeting.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You can have, a Google chat or a Google Meet meeting where
Mm-hmm.
everybody is on and talk about where you're going to go. You can even employ what I said I'm going to start doing now. Everybody has given me ideas and places that they want to go on a trip.
Mm-hmm.
I put it in a bucket and I just pick. And
Mm-hmm.
wherever I pick, that's where we're going on our next trip.
Right.
Because it just makes it easier because no one is ever going to agree. And it's frustrating.
We really won't, because there's too many of us in our crew,
Yes.
in our tribe to
Yes.
agree.
Because we had a trip planned
We did.
and it's
sad.
and but it's on hold. It's still there.
Yes.
It's in the bucket. We'll get there.
We will. We
So,
will.
yeah.
We will. We will. So I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
So, all right, Z. This here, what I'm about to talk about, what me and Z about to talk, is crucial. It is pivotal. It is so important to your trip. Who to leave at home? Types of friends that can ruin a trip, right? Look, we have a bunch of people here that we're about to talk about. This is in general. This is no reflection of our crew. This is in general as when you take a trip. This is just an in general commentary. The broke friend, the one who doesn't have funds but doesn't want to be left out.
Keep your ass at home,
please, and then don't ask us to front money for you to go, and then talk about I'm gonna pay you back. How, Sway? How? How the hell you gonna pay me back when you can't afford to go now? And then what does that mean when we're there? That means you can't pay for nothing either. Like that means I'm taking 2 vacations and not
right.
no. Now I will say there are times when you as girlfriends get together and there is one person in your crew that they may really need the trip, but they really cannot swing it. And if you decide as a group to help that person come, that's different. We're not talking about that type of friend.
Right.
We're talking about the friend be like, "Ooh, I want to go, but I don't want. How come y'all invite me?" And we're like, "Cause you broke, cause you can't go, cause you just this. It's not in the cards for you right now, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Just maybe next time.
Next time.
Maybe next time." Then the Texas Instrument, aka the calculator, aka the penny pincher, aka the tightwad, aka I don't know how much does that cost. The one who says when you're trying to leave a tip and they're like, I didn't pay for that water. So, no. Either we like it's always good to have a person that's has the financial acumen to help figure that tip out. However, if you nickel and diamond like that, then you don't need to come either.
And I don't like that. If you're with friends, I don't have a problem. If I've and we say this probably ad nauseum. We've known each other 20 plus years.
20 plus years.
At this point, if we go on a trip, I have no problem with splitting the bill. Why am I saying, okay, you had this, and this, and you had this? Just split it. We're
Come
friends.
on, man. Come on. At this point, we're family. We're friends and family.
Exactly.
So, come on now.
And if you feel like there was something, like there have been times when we'll go out and maybe some of us have had like 10 drinks. Then I'm like, y'all not going to pay for those 10 drinks. I'll split everything else, but the 10 drinks, let me do it because y'all didn't, that's not something y'all did.
Right.
But I'm not going to be sitting here trying to figure out tax and tip and what you did. And I can't do that. It is.
No, we're not. We're past that. We're past that. Just split it. Let's keep it moving. Come on.
You guys at home.
And we don't want that. We don't want that person on a trip. And I've seen that happen. I have seen. Oh, anyway.
And here's the thing: if you have a friend like that, you want them to come because they're still a fun person to be around. Tell them Everybody else on this check, that bitch got a separate check. Bring her
she
a
got her own
separate
check.
check. We
Just
gonna do this
all of us together. Everybody else, she get her own check.
She get her own check.
Facts. And then, and speaking to the fun friend, like Z said,
ooh,
though there's the person that is the overly lit friend. Now we all want to have somebody on a trip that's fun, but we don't want the person that's always drunk. Like drunk before, during, and after. Like they drunk at the airport, they drunk on the plane, they drunk in baggage claim because they drank all the stuff on the plane.
No,
and then
man.
they can't pick up their luggage and they get to the hotel and they're like, oh, shot time. Look, we're all here to have a good time. And I'm not talking about drinking, but we're talking about the person that they can't do anything and then we all have to can't hold their liquor. Nobody wants that. No, it's not fun. Nobody wants to babysit because you know what, your ass gonna be left wherever
right.
you're gonna get left.
Yeah,
and then you're gonna be in your feelings, and right. I don't care.
Right.
At all.
And so. You could transition that into the one who's always in them air quoting looking for a good time. If you coming on
oh Lord.
If you going on a trip because you want to be in a Terry McMillan novel, you looking for a
trying
Winston.
to get your groove back.
It's okay. But if that is your sole purpose,
right.
Come on, like, because then we have to have your because now people gotta we employ buddy sister for a reason. Now your buddy don't know where you at.
Right.
We don't need to have
nobody knows where you are.
Right. No, we're not. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
No, because that's a whole. I mean, especially if you know you going internationally, and it doesn't have to be just international, but if you going anywhere, like. The friend that's like, hey, I'm trying to get my groove back. I mean, hey, I'm not here to block anything because it's fun and you enjoying it. Some people, that's where they take vacation. Just give us some sort of disclaimer, update,
upfront,
preview, right. Like, hey, this is where I'm here for. So then we know that your buddy system is going to be a little altered because you don't find your own buddy.
Hello.
But we're not trying to have anybody end up like other folks that have disappeared. You know, I'm not going to say certain people's names, but just be mindful because it's a safety thing, you know, and we're all women and, you know, this is what we're trying to be mindful of. But hey, I mean, if you're going to have a good time, more power to you. Just be safe, you know, and we're not trying to, if the good time and that person is like, you know, in a no-fly zone and then they decide to be in the fly zone, then, you know, you really got to figure out where are you guys on that relationship, but just please be respectful of that because oh Lord. Then there is the friend that doesn't want to do anything or go anywhere. Then why the hell you come on a damn trip? like I don't want to do that. And we're not talking about the person that just wants to relax and be by themselves. We're talking about the person who's like, but I don't want to do that. And I don't want to do this. And like, can we just stay here? I think I'm just, well, you know, you stay here. And then they're like, oh, but I don't want to be here by myself. Well, you self-elected that.
Right.
So I have nothing to do with that.
Right.
So leave me, you know, just go with the flow or not.
And why
like
you
again, talked about earlier. Go with the flow.
Why are you here? Go home. Like you can do like I just don't understand why people come on a trip and just be in the bed all day. You'd have carried your ass.
I mean, I get it if that's the type of relax. Yes.
But if you came all the way
here,
to
all the way here
to lay in the bed, then stay your ass at home. Okay, just stay your ass at home.
Please. Well, I mean, honestly, because real talk, Z. It's one thing if you're on a relaxing spa trip, but then you can't expect all the rest of us to be sitting in there looking at you, because if that's what you need, then that's what you need, and that's fine.
Right.
But you need to communicate that to your girls and be like, look, you know what? I just wanted to be around y'all some of the time because of whatever I'm dealing with or going through. And, you know, I just want to sit here and chill. But don't be the person that was like, I don't want to do nothing. Why we do that? You know what? Stay at home. Please. Please. I don't. Then that kind of flows into the person. I had to call my man or my partner or my girlfriend 6 times a day, and he he or she or your partner calls you back the same amount of time, what y'all can't be apart from each other? That I mean, really? 'Cause, that's maybe a vacation for your partner too. That you gone. Let them have their vacation.
Right. I read this article,
Because
right?
oh my goodness.
I can't. I read
Mm.
this article about this group of girls who traveled, and one of the girls on the trip husband literally called her every 20 minutes, asking like, "Well, where's the pepper? Well, where's the salt? Well, how I changed
What?
the yeah." I don't understand how the thermostat works. Like what?
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 Google. How about you Google it? That's insane. That's insane. I don't understand how. Come on now.
And
How
that's
are you supposed to
like
enjoy yourself?
exactly. And again, if you have kids, if you have a family, yes, it's important to make sure that you're checking in. But if it's like every hour, you're just on the phone and you're just talking. And like I've
Yes,
seen situations where the couple argues the whole time the friend is on the trip.
that's
The whole
crazy.
time.
That why I have seen that, and then I think there's some. I've heard stories where the person argues the whole time and leaves the trip because of the
Yes,
arguing.
yes.
You just paid how much money, and you just what? I'm sorry. Wait, what? Why would you do that? You pay all that money only to go down and argue. I mean, that's an indication of other things possibly that as girlfriends, you may want to like put a pin in it and maybe to have that conversation later
Yeah.
about it with your girlfriend once you get back from wherever you're going. So I mean, maybe I want we trying to make sure look at both sides or all sides here because that could be an indication and a flag to you as girlfriends to be like, okay, well maybe we need to have a talk with her when we get back because it may
Yeah.
be indicative of some other stuff going on.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, it could be like, girl, I'm gonna need you to be present with your
Right.
girls.
Right.
Because some people, we all know, there's that one girl that falls off the earth when she find a boo, and until you don't see him again until somebody break up, So just to be mindful of it and conscious of it. Then the complainer, the one who gets an attitude just because the sun rose on the wrong side of the resort, just miserable.
Oh, keep your ass at home.
It's too hot. It's too cold. I don't like this food. Ooh, and then you bring your whole closet with you, and then you bring heel. Like, let's say, for instance, we go to the beach. Why are you bringing stilettos? Unless we go into the club, and then you try to wear the stilettos every day because you bought your whole closet. Ain't nobody tell you to do that. If we're going on the beach, then you know what that means. You need flip flops,
Hello.
not stilettos.
And let me tell you
All.
what Zarifa ain't gonna do. When you complaining that your feet hurt, and you like, oh, I want to go back to the hotel. Bye. Let's catch you an Uber. Why am I going?
Bye bye. I guess you taking yourself.
Right. I'm in the middle of fun because you decided to wear shoes that hurt. Now everybody got to go back to the hotel. Ma'am.
Thank you.
Or
how about no? That's a no for me.
Hello.
300 no for 300, Alex. Thank you. That's no. That is just too much. And then they go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I was just like, why are you? And then you complain about everything. There. I don't like the way the waiter looked at me.
They're wearing the heels, and they're too hot and too cold, or the room is too hot, and the food ain't good.
Right. I don't like the way the waiter looked at me. I don't like the way
you should just order spaghetti and meatballs. Go for something that you normally go for, and then if you don't like it, what, ma'am? Man, this is an all-inclusive resort. So what I'm gonna need you to do is go to the other side of the resort, pick another restaurant then, because it's all included. If this is the type of trip that you should go on, which I highly recommend, all inclusives are the best.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to think about anything, you don't have to pull cash out, But I will say, for that person, this goes back to the whole broke friend. If the broke friend books a trip and only budgets enough for the trip, like exactly, but then does not take into account the resort fees, which could be $100 each day held on your card, and now they're spending money which they thought they had is now tied up in resort fees. So that goes to the research and making sure everybody's aware of what the costs are. So please take that into account. And then they'd be the person like, yo, can you front me? I mean, I know stuff happens, but
and then
just
complain
please.
like, "Oh, I didn't know there was resort fees. I didn't know. I didn't know." Mm-mm. No,
Yeah,
no.
that's no, that's a no no. And then it's also like even with the complaining part, like if you bring, and we talked about this earlier, you bring a friend of a friend, and then you end up saying, "Who brought her? Whose friend is she?" Because
Right,
she could fill any of these roles because you don't know her, or and then you're just like, is she gonna be like this the whole trip? Or on the flip side of that, you brought your friend, and then everybody gets along with them, and then you kind of get in your feelings because they get along with everybody else, leave, and you feel like you left out. Like that's my friend, and why are you guys getting along with that person, and I'm over here sulking because
right.
and people are quick to sometimes get an attitude about that. So
Mhm.
you got to think about the group dynamics. It's crucial. It's so crucial. And then with the group dynamics, as far as some friends, when we go on these trips, it's the time for us to reconnect and we may divulge because we're girlfriend, we may divulge private information about what's going on in our life. And we don't want any no new friends to know this about our business because it's not for them to know. But on the other side, there's folks that they use this as a therapy session because they haven't left the house in forever. And you sitting there like, I just really want to go to the beach. But this person has totally turned this this thing into a full blown therapy session, and you want to be the empathetic girlfriend, but you like, it is happy hour right now. They having drinks on the bar.
Right.
It's it's a party. Like
They done turned the
it's
whole
all
trip
you can
into
eat crab legs.
right. They done turned the trip into y'all done fixed
Yes.
my life. No, no, no.
No, no,
I came
no,
here
no,
to
no.
get
Please
away from
no.
my life.
Mm-mm.
So I can't fix yours.
Please. No, I came to fix mine. Or they
Right,
go into like the whole confessions and then you just sitting on the trip like, I can't believe they just told us that. Like in the whole
right.
trip you're blown
Yeah, because
and
you're
now
like,
you and you're like, "Wow, what just
right.
happened? Did they
Mm-mm.
just say that?" And
Nah,
and then you don't even know how to enjoy the rest of your trip because now someone has divulged to you. I mean, with your girlfriends, and I get it, that's an area of trust, circle of trust, but now it just kind of messed your head up like, so what are we supposed to do with that information?
right,
And it can
right,
throw the vibe off of
right.
the trip. So, and last but not least, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch of others in there. Feel free to add it to our page. Those other types of personalities. The social media addict, which I think is more prevalent today than when Z and I used to travel when our younger
Mhm,
days.
mhm.
The person who is just glued to their phone or they just take pictures all the time of everything 24/7 and they're never ever present. Like it's just they just want to make an Instagram post,
Yeah.
but they're not enjoying the camaraderie, they're not enjoying the girlfriend time or the bonding, which is what is supposed to be the point of the girlfriend trip. It's bonding,
Mhm, mhm.
and it's celebrating each other in your friendship, you
Yeah.
know.
You live streaming
But
everything, your
mm,
Instagram and everything, your Facebooking
every
everything.
damn thing you take yes. Ain't nobody needs to know. And what if people are on the trip and they don't want to be on your social feed? They don't want to be
Right.
on your social media feed because maybe they didn't tell anybody that they were coming, because it's supposed to be just a trip. And then other folk, then that can incite other issues like, why didn't you tell me you was going? So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's just really something to be mindful of,
Right.
So girl, those
Hmm.
things. Woo!
So yes. So when you've decided which friends you're going to take and which friends you're going to leave at home, then think about the types of trips that are going to be perfect for the squad. Is it going to be a
Mhm.
cruise? Is it going to be a road trip? Is it going to be an all inclusive vacation? Or are you going to do like some type of group tour? I mean, this goes back again to, thinking about and planning, thinking about group dynamics, thinking about the financials.
Mhm.
So it's very important.
Huge.
Hmm.
Very, very important. And then when you're looking at that list, you got to think about where to go, and like I had said, there's some if you're going to do an international trip, but where to go in the US, like maybe Boca Raton, an alternative to Miami. And if it's going to be a relaxing vacation, the Waldorf Astoria, very nice hotel. I've stayed
Very
there.
nice. We've
That's
stayed there.
lovely.
Lovely.
Yes,
Lovely.
lovely hotel. I
Mhm.
must. And going to New Orleans.
Mhm.
Um, for the turn up. I haven't been. I was supposed to go this year, but Rona. Mm.
Mhm.
And then I missed the trip with y'all Z because I was working because
Yeah.
I'm slightly workaholic.
Yeah.
But they have like the European style architecture, the Creole cuisine, which is just amazing. Looking at the French Quarter, just a vibe in the place, a jazz festival. There's so many in the French Quarter, of course. There's so many
Mhm.
things to participate in, the historical tours, of the cemeteries. Or I mean, it's just there's so much culture down there. Just
Right.
it's I'm excited for whenever I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
At least and the beignets.
Yes.
Whew, the beignets
Good.
are fabulous. I love beignets.
Yes.
Looking at San Fran, the San Francisco area, it's free spirited folks, and it's edgy. It's the cuisine is top notch. If you're looking at folks that are foodies, there's adventure all over San Fran.
Mhm.
There's the cable car, the wharf, of course, the infamous wharf. Then there's Alcatraz, and of course, the Golden Gate Bridge. There's so many things that you can look into, and then drive to Napa. I know the girls
Oh,
were able to go to Napa, and Z, you want to talk about that because I saw the pictures.
Napa is an experience, and that's what I'm saying. If
Mm,
San Francisco, like I'm in love with San Francisco. That is my, I don't know. It's a tie between New Orleans and San Fran,
mhm.
but I love San Francisco. I love San Francisco. And the fact that you can go from a metropolitan city like that, get in a car and drive about a little over an hour and end up in wine country is just like, I
Mm,
mean, it's just fantastic. So it's definitely a great girlfriend's trip to take.
I love that. Love that. And then if you're looking in, the spa world, and Z and I have talked about this, we love spas,
Mhm,
like
mhm.
completely.
Yes.
Arizona, Sedona, Scottsdale, there's so many areas to enjoy the spa life. Or if you want to
Mhm.
do, and it depends. Like if you're taking a trip with your girls and it's a spa life, is it spa relaxing and getting treatments, or is it spa going out and doing hiking?
Right.
So you really got to think about that. If it's you're trying to get your zen together, or you trying to be out with nature, what
Right.
kind of where are you looking for that? Because
Right.
one thing, and even going to Scottsdale, and there's luxurious resorts, golfing, and high-end boutiques. The one thing that I will say, Z, is if you're gonna bring folks with you when you're traveling, is it the dynamics of the group that, hey, we're all going to do spa stuff, or is it I'm waking up and we have a full itinerary?
Right.
Like if that's not your flow, don't make sure you understand that, because there are some folks that will definitely have everything planned out,
Mhm.
and you roll over. And I know for me, I love doing things, but I also, because I work so much, if I can lay in the bed
Mhm.
and then just roll over and go to the spa, I'm good. And then go to
Mhm.
the pool, and then go to the pool bar. I don't necessarily need to take excursions
Right.
all the time unless it's to a
Right.
spa.
And I'm the person you want to take with you if you trying to just. I would think I'm like the not the overly lit friend, definitely not the lit friend. Like
Mhm.
I'm down for whatever. You want to go
Yes.
on a camel ride? We going on the camel.
Let's go.
Now I
Let's
ain't
go.
jumping out no planes, and I ain't getting in no ocean and flying up in the air. I ain't parasailing and no shit like that.
I've done that. It was dope. I
That's
enjoyed it.
not my ministry. But I will do some adventurous things. I will
Yes.
do that. So.
Yes. And you really got to make sure, because and also, I mean, I think it's also good to also step outside your box too,
Mhm. Mhm.
because you have the support of your friends. It can be a really good memory making time if it's you doing something outside your box
Mhm.
as well, so definitely keep that in mind. And looking at Utah, great place to decompress if you don't want to do anything, just kind of chill, just
Mhm.
and relax. Utah might be it. And then of course, they have spas, and if you ski, which is also wonderful. And of course, the Sundance Film Festival, which is the destination trip, which I think is great and something that is something to look into, and just that's an experience. That's
Right.
one of those trips. That's an experience.
Right.
Um, and Savannah, Georgia. I've always wanted to go there just because I love the architecture. I love the sleepiness and the chill of this place, and the regalness that kind of comes with this with Savannah and the moss covered oaks and the historic. I love history stuff, so I love seeing different historical places, and their restaurants are infamous. They're world class.
Yes, they are.
So,
Absolutely
definitely just some areas to kind of think about that aren't normally maybe seen as the go-to spot. So we want you to think outside of what your regular vacations comfort zone is. So it's not just, hey, we going to Miami. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Can we go to Cabo?
Over that, right.
Cabo or something.
But even past that, and I would say this, these are probably good things to start with, because we don't know when other countries are going to start letting us back into their country when Corona is.
Right.
So if you're trying to plan your next girlfriend trip, maybe think about some of the places that we've just mentioned to plan a trip for your girls. But let's say we can get out the country, right? Where are some international getaways that you can take with your girls? Well, you can do Tulum. That's been a very popular destination as of late. It is a tucked away jewel in the Mexican East Coast. So they have Mayan ruins.
Nice.
And it is a tiny, quiet alternative to the other resort areas that get very populated during spring break season. So if that's around the time that you're able to go, maybe not Cabo or Cancun, but maybe think about that. Montreal, right? So you can think about, if we're doing, North America, South America, here we are. You can think about, okay, Montreal.
Right.
It's easily accessible. It's a walkable city, which is probably a good thing, because a lot of people like to be able to walk around, because they're in a city or a country that they're not familiar with, and they're not really comfortable maybe getting in a cab because they're afraid that the person may take them well outside of where they're trying to go.
Right.
It has charming cafes. If you can't get to Paris, maybe it's the closest to Paris that you're going to get. Because it is known for its French cuisine. The Seychelles, they are 115 islands off the eastern coast of Africa. So it's kind of adventure and chill. You can do snorkeling, sail. You can, just lay out on the beach. It's white beaches. There's swaying palms. So that has been definitely
on our bucket list.
Yeah. Very popular destination as of late. Croatia in Eastern Europe. Definitely some place that, many people frequent. Beautiful coastlines, stunning lakes and forests. Again, you can do a very relaxing vacation there, or you can do a little bit of adventure. They have fantastic wines, and because they are, it's on the coastline, delicious sea to table cuisine. Yeah. So definitely something to stick in. Yes. Cartagena, Colombia.
Cartagena.
Yes, Cartagena. Yeah. A lot of people are traveling there now. It's kind of like a cultural mecca, and there's a lot of significant history there, because it was a port during, the time when slavery was,
a lot of history.
Yes.
There.
They have fantastic street food, street art, and there's picturesque white sandy beaches. So again, you can do some adventurous stuff and then do some chill stuff. And then the last that I have on here is Santorini, which is a place that I'm dying to go to. And actually, my husband and I had planned this trip for 2021 because it was just on our top 10 list. Turquoise waters, silky sand, just the way those white houses that line the cliff tops look when you're looking at it's just idyllic. And so
I'm really excited to go to Greece one day. I can't wait.
I can't wait. I'm I'm so excited.
Yeah. I have to. It's the name of my company is Greek, so I have to go pay homage. So definitely.
So definitely, I would say if and when we get out of COVID, speaking positively, positively and speaking positivity into events. Maybe take a look at some of these places. Maybe there are places you've already been. or maybe they're places you haven't thought of. And I'm talking about
True.
in the U.S. and internationally. If you have any suggestions for us, please DM us, or send us something to our email, and we definitely,
Love
well,
that.
I'll definitely do some research because that's who
Yes.
I am in the group.
Yes.
So I will do that.
She's that chick in the group. She's that chick in the group.
Right. So, after we've done all that and we've picked our friends that we're going to take with us, we've done the planning, we know where we're going to go. One of the things that you should always keep in mind is why you should travel with your friends, right? Because you're like, well, why? I got my husband. I don't need to travel with my girls. I've done all that. But no, I think it's important to still maintain some of those types of activities with your friends.
Definitely.
And the reason why it can deepen your relationships with your friends, right? It can be cheaper.
Hey, hello.
We were talking about accommodations and splitting rooms, you'll have a lot more pictures to share. If you're on a trip with 6 girls, I mean, think about all of the pictures that you'll have and memories that you'll be able to look back on.
Right. And there's always that one friend that's like, yo, send me that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's always within our group. Like, send me that picture, send me that picture, send me that picture. That never happens.
Right.
It may make you step out of your comfort zone and try new things, right? You may be with someone who is adventurous and you're not, because that's not your ministry, but they may convince you, hey, just do this. Let's go on these dirt bikes. I know this is not your thing, but just try it. When we went to New Orleans a few years back, one of the things that we did that I planned was a bike ride tour of the city. Now, there were a few friends that were like, bike ride? Oh, girl, no. But they went and they had a good time,
Right.
So just thinking of stepping outside of your comfort zone sometimes can happen when you have friends
Yes.
around.
Definitely.
Yes. If there are layovers, it can make those layovers more tolerable.
And comical.
Yes. And especially if you're in a place where layovers suck. If you're in an airport where it's just the worst airport ever, literally, it can make all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
And then traveling with your friends offers you periods of reflection, and you may have many more memories to bring back and relive. So, I mean, again, I think we are big on, cultivating and deepening our relationships with our friends. Natalie and I are very big on that.
Yeah.
And so I think traveling with your friends is just a healthy way to reconnect. Just laugh, let go of, the stress and the strife that we may have at home.
Yeah.
And just be around people who know you, and you don't have to, be switching around or putting on a face or just be you. And I think that's good. It's wonderful.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, the one other person I forgot was the fighter.
Oh.
Lord. There's like some of the trips that I've been on, not necessarily with my crew, but with my pit crew, but there's been trips and I'm like, are we really fighting right now? Like, seriously? Or the one that's like ready to go because whatever their meal was not up to par, and then somebody looks at them the wrong way and then they ready to scrap. Like, we're not going to do that because let's not have locked up abroad. Can we not have locked up abroad?
Can we not have that? And if you have a friend with sticky fingers, keep her ass at home too.
Please, we're not trying to go to jail. We're not trying to have after us. Like, no, because it adds too much drama. Kind of like, and I don't watch the reality shows. I only see the highlights. But every time I see like what are those shows called? I don't
Real
know.
Housewives.
Real Housewives, and they're always on a trip and someone's fighting somebody. And I'm like, what? Why? Can't you just go to the other side of the island or wherever? Just take another cab. Like, I don't understand.
Well, that's
just
well, that's because they put these people together that they don't like each other and force them to go on a trip. And it's always the worst of the worst together.
So please don't think that that's how you need to travel. Because trust and believe, I ain't going to jail for nobody.
I ain't.
No, I like my job. I like my career, and I
like my check.
I might put some on it to help you get out. But I'm not going to step in to try to in the moment. No. No.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm hoping that we gave you all some very great information and
Yes.
provided you some maybe destinations that you didn't think about. And maybe you're doing some reevaluation right now and saying, I may have one or two of those friends in my group. I may need to kind of figure out who they are and why I'm not going to invite them on the next trip. But we're going to take a quick break and come back with our last sip of the day. So we're back with the last sip of tea with your hood Dalai Lama. Never go on trips with anyone you do not love. And that is attributed to Ernest Hemingway. Is there anything better than traveling with your friends? From taking that selfie of ridiculous poses to acting weird as a group in your hotel room or lobby, traveling with friends brings out the real and wild person in you. All the crazy, fun, and stressful situations will help you get to know them even better and make your friendship stronger. And the best part, you'll have someone to relive all those awesome memories with for years to come. And that was the last sip of tea with your hood Dalai Lama.
Thank you for joining us this week on Sippin' Tea with Nat and Z. You can follow us on Instagram at Sippin' Tea and Z_pod. And on Facebook at facebook.com/Sippin' Tea Nat NZ for upcoming podcast topics, guests, and news. Thanks for listening. See you next episode where we will discuss getting friends. How many of us have them? Enjoy your week and plan a trip.